Hello, you Pokemon Masters! Every Pokemon game has some early route Pokemon, but many trainers button mash to try and blow past them to continue on the new journey. No, I acknowledge that many of them are not the best stat wise, or just don't pop out to the trainer with the design. However, there are a select few that are remembered and regarded as great Pokemon to use even though it's on the first route. Now believe me, it's hard finding an early game Pokemon that you want to have on your team when you face the Elite Four, but some manage to make the cut. That is why today I am going to look at the top 5 Route 1 Pokemon. This is my favorite early game Pokemon, whether for the design or being a solid Pokemon overall. Now, as usual, this list is purely my opinion, and if there are Pokemon on the first route that you like, please feel free to let me know. Also, when I say Route 1, I mean the first route that contains Pokemon that the trainer can catch. Let's get started, shall we? Coming at number 5, we have Poochyena. I will admit that I was not a fan of this Pokemon in the first Gen 3 games, but in the remakes with Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, I discovered how nice this Pokemon was. Being able to receive a Dark-type Pokemon this early is insane. This is a real treat if you can avoid the early Bug Pokemon and the common fighting types. Poochyena evolves at level 18, where it gets a solid 90 base attack and the rest of the stats end up doubling. This is a very powerful Pokemon to have early on, with having a stab bite. After the Brawly fight, there isn't a huge threat for this Pokemon, which gives it free range to abuse its high-base stats at such an early point in the game. This Pokemon is an amazing one to have at such an early point in the game. Well, coming in at the number 4 spot is Fletchling. Fletchling is a solid normal flying type bird clone, but it actually drops the normal typing for the fire type. Everyone who has played a Pokemon game knows how key it is to have a fire type on their team. Having such an early access to this fundamental typing makes this Pokemon a nice choice to have early on in the game. Even without its hidden ability of Gale Wings, the Big Peck/Flame Body combo are some nice abilities to have. It gets a nice array of flying and fire type moves to use, where the main appeal to me is the design of this line. I absolutely adore it. I enjoy seeing Fletchling turn into the fierce Talonflame, and it has solid stats with it too. While known just for its speed, this line can be a real threat to have at the beginning of this game. Time for the surprise on this list. Coming in at number 3 is Scatterbug. I know what you're thinking. How in Arceus am I putting this Pokemon on a top 5 list? But trust me, hear me out. Compared to any other early bug Pokemon, I enjoy the design of this line a whole lot more than the Wurmple and Butterfree line. I also appreciate the gimmick that Vivillon has. Have you ever tried to collect all the different Vivillon versions? Let me tell you, it is one long grueling process. I can see why it is number 666 in the Pokédex. But really early on, this Pokemon evolves into the final stage at level 10, just like the typical early bug type, but it has a whopping 90 special attack and 89 speed. This thing is one of the best sweepers early on, with having such a high special attack stat. Trust me, when I say use this Pokemon early on in your X and Y playthrough, and it will leave you speechless with how strong it is early on. Well, let's go up to the second spot, with Starly. I feel that I'm just beating a Mudbray, but this bird line is so good. It has a beautiful attack and speed stats as a Staraptor, with a nice mix of normal fighting and flying type attacks to use at its disposal. This allows it to be used against all sorts of Pokemon, and the ability of Intimidate makes this Pokemon a prime switching candidate against any Pokemon that's a physical attacker. This Pokemon has been singularly the best early game Pokemon line for years. But what has it beat now, you ask yourself? Well, coming at number 1 is Munchlax. Not many people know that you can find this line on Route 1 in the Alola region. Having early access to this Pokemon should be a crime. All you need for a Munchlax to evolve is for it to love you. Think about having a Snorlax at level 20. This Pokemon would have a freaking 110 attack, 116 HP. This is every bit the monster that the original Pokemon games made it out. Think about Snorlax going against a poor Rattata. well, there's no chance that you will lose that fight. Plus, Snorlax has a huge range of moves that it can learn, from Crunch to Giga Impact to High Horsepower. This Pokemon can learn all sorts of moves by leveling up. This is one of the best Pokemon to have on your team due to how overpowered this Pokemon is so early on. Well, these are my top 5 Route 1 Pokemon. Are there any Pokemon that you enjoy using early on in your journey? Did I miss any of your favorites? Feel free to let me know. And remember, like always, to have a great day, you Pokemon Masters.